Hey, Davina, it's so nice to have you on the show
Same here.
today. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. I'm excited to be here with you.
Beautiful. Me too. And you see, just like I mentioned earlier, thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate it. And you see, Davina, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Davina, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. They say some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and
Mm,
I went my way. But you see, Davina, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. Oh boy, it was a beautiful moment that day, a very special one at that. I kept staring at the beauty of the fruit, the branches, and the whole tree. Amazing. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Davina that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. You see, the impact your work is having, your insights, your philosophies, and your work, it's amazing. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things that Vina is doing, not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Davina. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing I could do about it. Thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here. It is so
Awesome.
refreshing to hear all of that. It's so kind, and I just so deeply appreciate you.
Thank you too. So let's get started. You see, Davina, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Davina, ever since I realized that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Davina on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Davina, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. Because right now, we are so curious. We want to know how Davina got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Davina, over to you.
Yeah. So my name is Davina Hain. I'm a trained therapist turned mental health coach. I mainly specialize in anger management, and I'm really focusing on empowering parents to remember who they were and also evolve into who they are now before parenting got loud and derailed them. So it's a lot about advocacy for themselves and who they are without causing the collateral damage that usually comes through with suppressed anger and high stress situations. And I'm really just trying to promote more peace for all of us and have parents, you know, not suffer as much within the process.
Beautiful. And that's a great one. Getting to realize that someone is out there with that solution. I love that. So let's just get right to it. Okay. Let's talk about how to balance parenting and partnership. Can you talk to us about this?
Mm, Yeah, it's a hard thing to find that middle ground. The balance tends to typically tip much more toward the kids, of course, because they were responsible for them and they don't have a choice in the matter. So when we're looking for balance, we want to remain friends with our partner. We want to have little, even moments throughout the day to enjoy ourselves and connect. Usually, whenever couples are having a hard time or parents are having a hard time, they plan date nights, vacations, these long periods of closeness followed by so much time of disconnection. And the way to balance this is really just to start incorporating more connection throughout your day while the kids are present. That allows for us to feel so much more connected that we don't need this like big vacation in order to feel like we see each other and have more of that emotional intimacy again. So it's both of us really wanting to
Hmm,
work toward, really fostering this relationship and nurturing it throughout each day.
got that. I got that. Okay, let's talk about anger. All right. How can one undo anger without causing collateral damage?
Yeah. I mean, anger is something that comes up naturally within us. It's part of our survival, right? So when we've evolved to this point where we can't quite tell the difference between true threats and perceived threats, that part of our brain just hasn't evolved yet. So really what we're working with is a brain that's primed for survival without an acknowledgement of the world that we have around us. And then the way that that presents is usually through aggression. So anger is a very good thing. It's a beautiful emotion to harness and listen to. It's advocating for us. It's wanting us to listen to the message and decipher the message it's trying to tell us, that there's an injustice, I'm uncomfortable, I was mistreated, I'm voiceless, I'm powerless. These types of things come through, and that's why we want the anger to stay. What we don't want to do, though, is to allow for our anger to be ignored or stored, which then leads into the aggression that causes the collateral damage. At the end of the day, anger is really just advocating for us to do something about it, to find a solution to our problem. But because we tend to suppress anger in our society and in many societies, it ends up coming out in a way that's uncontrolled. Our brain that part of our brain just takes over and it causes the aggression. And then the person who is really wanting to advocate for themselves doesn't even get you know, their original complaint heard because the aggression that they used to express it was so harmful.
Wow, that's profound, and I love that perspective. And thank you for making it quite easy to understand. Nice one, Davina. Nice one. Okay. What are some real strategies for handling conflict better?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is going to come from prevention, right? Of course, it's like we always want to get to it before it hits that point. So we want some prevention and really just checking in with ourselves throughout the day. It's not, long periods of meditation. It's nothing crazy. It's really just listening to your body 10, 20 seconds a day and seeing what kind of mood you're in, what certain things give you a pang in the chest when they hit, and then it sparks something within you. We just want to stay more cognizant of ourselves and aware of ourselves. The other thing to do is when we fail at that, because naturally we will, I do often as well, is once we are within conflict, we develop tools to tolerate the conflict better. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Sorry, my
That's okay.
network went off.
That's
Sorry about that.
fine. Not at all.
Okay. Okay. So, why do you think most people struggle with anger, and what exactly are they getting wrong?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, most of us struggle with anger because we don't understand it. And when we don't understand things, we tend to fear it before we lead with curiosity to learn more about it. So, first, that's what I recognize. Very first is that if we don't know how to control anger, if we don't know how to decipher the message that it's giving us, we create societies like the ones that we live in that suppress it, that say, well, as long as it goes away, then I'm not at risk. So the biggest mistake I think a lot of us make, if not the vast majority make, is to expect it to be hidden, locked in a basement, and not to ever see the light of day. What we would benefit from doing is to just listen to it without having to act on it, but try to understand what types of things affect me deeply and poorly. And usually, because anger tells us that we want a solution to something, if we were more focused on how to solve these problems, where I am the person who is responsible for solving this, not everyone else is responsible for not giving me a problem. If we could focus more on ourselves, we would end up in a society that allows for anger to exist, understands what it is meant to do and how preservative of an emotion it is. And then we would have more agency, more ability to move through it and navigate it without, becoming so aggressive and causing that damage.
Got it. I got that. So, what's the difference between suppressing anger and regulating it? Is there a difference?
Such a good question. Yeah. So it's really the difference between, it's the difference between going around something versus moving through it. Right. So when we are suppressing anger, we're recognizing that something lives within us, something happened that bothers me. And rather than exploring what that looks like, rather than moving through, we shove down. We say, I shouldn't be angry. Let it go. It's not important. It's not a big deal. This is petty. It's so small, these types of things. And we don't even give it life. We need it to breathe a little bit. And it doesn't mean that we just express it as soon as we feel it. But what it does mean is that I sit with it. I get more comfortable being able to sit in the discomfort of the anger so that I can keep myself regulated within it. Those of us who suppress anger, because anger is triggered in the brain for fight or flight, we end up with so much of this energy, the cortisol, the adrenaline, these types of chemicals that we're only supposed to be releasing when we are in imminent danger, when our life is at risk. So if we continue to just suppress anger, what we're actually doing is allowing our body to release these hormones and then not do anything with them. And that's why we see so much heart disease, cardiovascular disease, and we are generally just more unhealthy. With the regulation of anger, we can
Wow.
understand it more and we get to move through it more and we get to almost kind of like settle it in.
I never knew that, Davina. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have two more questions to go. What are the biggest mistakes parents make when teaching emotional regulation?
I think we all, and I did this, before too, I think we focus more on the behaviors rather than what's causing the behaviors. So if we were to explain to children how to feel emotions in their bodies, where to locate them, let them know what it is that's feeling, then they will be able to identify them so much more and know what to do with it. It's like my son, when he started a new school, he said that his tummy hurt, that he had a tummy ache, when really it was anxiousness. It was those like butterfly feeling that's not good for us, but it can come through almost like a feeling of discomfort, like pain. So letting them know, one, that they're completely normal, that anger is normal, crying is normal, all of these things are just part of the human experience and the way that we are built, will allow for them to understand more about what to do with them when it happens. We tend to tell them, don't yell, don't hit, don't scratch, don't bite, but not what is making you want to do these things and what are you needing beneath it. We tell them the rules of the game, but not why we are playing at all.
So true, and I can relate so well. Okay, so Davina, to bring this to an end, it's been a very, very insightful moment with you on the show. What would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything we've discussed so far, or even ask questions, How can that be possible?
Yeah, so I'll start with the second part first. You can find me anywhere with the tag A Steady Space. I named my practice this so that people can come in, find their balance, and then go back into the world. So my goal is that we all have some level of steady in our existence. So any of those is A Steady Space. It's also the name of all of my handles and my website. The parting thing that I would want your listeners to remember is that all of these things are part of this human experience. And our job isn't to avoid the things that cause discomfort, but instead embrace them so that we know what to do with them instead. We are passing these things down to each generation, and they will repeat what we don't repair.
That's they will repeat what we don't repair. Oh boy. I've
I
got to
know.
clap for you.
No pressure.
That's a profound one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of the show, Davina. Thank you so very much for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank
Absolutely, Elisha. Thank you. Be well.